Craig Shoemaker, The Lovemaster, was released in 1997. It's directed by Michael Goldberg, written by Goldberg and Shoemaker, and we have a cast including, of course, Craig Shoemaker and George Wendt as his therapist. And I really did not like this. And interestingly, the one bit I didn't mind would be the bit I wouldn't like if it had been about somebody else, which may sound confusing, but I will explain what I mean by this. It's not actually what I was expecting. Basically, Craig Shoemaker, who is a stand-up comedian, is doing a set, and that's the bulk of the film. So it's actually a stand-up comedy show for the majority of it, but every now and then we will cut to him talking with his therapist, played by the wonderful George Wendt, and that gives us more of a narrative. And for this film, I liked those scenes, but if it were a different comedian, I wouldn't. And there are kind of two reasons why this is the case. I was not familiar with Craig Shoemaker's work before, and I can confirm I don't like his stand-up comedy style. I'm not going to say he's not funny. The audience clearly were having a great time, but for me personally, his stand-up comedy style does not appeal to my personal taste. I kind of found it really irritating. So for me, the stand-up comedy aspect, which is the bulk of the film, was not entertaining. I did not care for it. I found it to be really, really annoying. Mostly because he's constantly putting on voices and doing impressions. And I love impressions. I absolutely love impressions. But not when it's delivered like this. I just found it to be really irritating. And when we cut to the therapist scenes, I thought those worked well. Partly because I love George Wendt. Partly because I think it is interesting to analyse, I guess, Shoemaker's character and why he maybe behaves certain ways and thinks certain ways. So that part of it I thought was reasonably interesting. But had this been about a stand-up comedian whose style I liked, I would have got really irritated whenever we cut to the therapist, as much as I love George Wendt, because I don't want to be pulled away from the stand-up show. I want to watch it and enjoy it and have fun with it. I don't want to be constantly pulled out of it to go into this fictitious aspect. So this was never going to work for me, because either I would have been really enjoying the stand-up show and I would have got irritated when we got pulled out of it to go to the therapy sessions, or as the real case is, I really didn't enjoy the stand-up aspect, but I didn't mind the therapy session. So it was never, ever going to work for me. Do I recommend it? Only if you're a fan of Craig Shoemaker's work, or indeed if you're curious to see if his style of comedy is for you. As I said, I wasn't familiar with his work at all, so I went in not really knowing what the style of comedy would be like, and it didn't work. It really didn't work for me. Not only did I not find it funny, I actually found it to be really irritating. So it doesn't work for me. But if you're curious, if you're a fan of stand-up in general, I'd say check it out. Or indeed, if you're a fan of any of the cast, of course, take a look. If you don't like stand-up at all, then obviously not. This is not going to appeal to you. The bulk of it is a stand-up routine. But if you think the stand-up routine either might appeal to you, or you want to see if it is your style of comedy, give it a go. But at the same time, you do have to be prepared to be frequently pulled away from the stand-up routine to go to this therapy session. Brilliant that we get to see George Wendt, but I do find it to be really jarring every time we're pulled away from the main show. So I don't think it's great. I don't think it's a very good experience at all. And I feel like if you love the comic, you'll find the interruptions with the therapy to be quite annoying. If, like me, you don't love the comedy style, then the therapy sessions are quite good. So I don't think it was ever going to be an amazing experience. But for me, other than George Wendt, there was nothing about this that I liked. The Lovemaster, for me, is not a good experience. It might appeal to some people more than me, but it definitely did not work well for me at all.